Hey everyone, Jeff St. Laurent here, and I just got off a 90-minute group call with some students in my 5-month group mentor coaching program. We're in month 4, and like I literally haven't moved the seat. Been sitting here, and it was such a powerful session. This is our first group since the holidays went through, and I'm a little bit off with words right now, just because there's a lot of emotion that came up in the group, and why I chose to go live right now, because the work that these students are doing is so strong and so powerful. And the only way I can sum it up is getting better. They're getting better, and they're all getting better in so many different ways. There's the students who are getting better because they're doing the work in their business. They're putting themselves out there. One of them came and said, one of the biggest things I learned as a result of doing this program is I used to be behind my computer on social media, doing posts and hiding. And now I'm not behind my computer anymore. I'm getting out and I'm meeting people. And guess what that's translating to? It's translating to her getting business and clients and running a group coaching program. And it's not just making money, it's helping people and doing what she loves. And the energy she had was fantastic. And then there's someone else who's coming in and she's launching a group coaching program. She's getting a landing page out there. She just got two new clients last week. One was a couples coaching that paid her in full. She's never done couples coaching before, but she's pushing herself and growing on those limits. And then there's others who are getting better because they're understanding that they're living in the chaos of their story all the time. They're living in the chaos of like what's not working, the catabolic side of what's happening in their world, and they're always swirling around. And now they're learning on, okay, well, what does it look like to be, if you will, anabolic, or what is rewriting my story so that I'm focusing on what I want to accomplish, where I want to go. And then there's people who are actually steps ahead, where they're recognizing, and last week I told this woman, I said, listen, forget about your business. Stop focusing on your business, because what's going on in your world, in your professional career, in your personal world, in that space is exhausting you so much, to the point every time you try, and I use try intentionally, every time you try and do something for your business, you fall flat on your face because you don't have the space for it right now. And she listened and she thought and she processed and she did what she knew she required to do to process. And she came to the call today with a solution, and she's moving and she's quitting her job. And how it felt in her body, the way she described it was so powerful. And now she's dreaming without the buts. She's dreaming without the like, oh, but I can't because, or this. And she's starting to see what she can create for herself. And it's amazing how just in that process, how much tension and resistance she released. It's so cool, the awareness that they're creating. And I wish you were there for the 90 minutes to witness it all. But I wanted to come to this and share that. It brings me back to where I started this whole getting better theme for myself when I started working out in college. And what I became fascinated with was how I could work out and do an exercise with let's just say a bicep curl with 30 pounds, and have it be challenging, and I'd get sore. And then after doing it over a couple of weeks, not even that much, I could do 35 pounds and 40 pounds. And what once was hard for me wasn't hard anymore. It didn't challenge me anymore. And if I stayed there, it wasn't even any good anymore because it wasn't serving me. And I moved on to 35 and 40 and 50 and 70, whatever pounds, right? I became fascinated with getting better and realizing that we can get better. And this one thing with the physical, the external side, but then there's the internal side, and getting better emotionally, awareness wise, managing a consciousness of our energy, financial consciousness, right? Pushing ourselves, our emotional boundaries, challenging ourselves. And that's really hard. That's really challenging. Yet that's what gives us the most growth. That's what gives us more value. And isn't that interesting how, as an entrepreneur, we get paid for the value we bring to the market? That's why it's so great when we work on ourselves, we bring more value and therefore we get paid accordingly. And so this is just a spur of the moment. Like I feel compelled to get out here and share this because I hung up it was Zoom. So I pushed stop and I just sat there in silence for a minute. I'm like, wow. I just had to sit with that emotion of just like one person after another, just breaking through on all different facets of, as I described. And what I want to share with you is that's this business. It might not look like you getting out to a networking event or Toastmasters or doing a webinar or a qualifying call with a potential client. Right now, it might look like you figuring out how I'm going to release some toxicity relationships in my life. One guy was talking about setting boundaries in his life, recognizing that, like, wow, listen, I'm always pleasing other people and I put myself last and I carry this guilt and I probably don't need help in the first place. And now it's just a matter of like, wow, I can actually set some boundaries and say no, and I can focus on myself. Right. So that's what that might look like for you. But that's that person or that's you working on your business because you're never going to be able to work on your business until you figure that out. And so when you work on that, then that frees you up to set some boundaries. And then you can actually sit in your office and be like, wow, I actually have some office space and recognize I'm not disappointing other people. It's much easier to disappoint yourself than other people. That's why we do it as human beings. It's much easier to disappoint yourself than somebody else. And therefore, that's what we do. We put ourselves last, but then we deal with that. And so whatever you working on your business is looking like, start to recognize what that might be. That's the path you're on. That's a journey that you're on. And that's what I'm asking you to understand where that is. And it's not always the tangible, like, oh, I'm doing a webinar, I'm setting up an event, I'm going to a networking meeting. Yes, that's what we're going towards. If you're not there, what is it that we must create in our world so it frees me up energetically so I can create that, not just today and this week or this month, but weekly over years and years to come. That's what we're going for. That's bettering up. That's bettering ourselves up. And that's what I'm asking of you. I'm looking for people who are craving to better up right now. Right? That's what I want. That's what you want as a coach, right? You're looking for those people. So be that person. And in fact, be that person even without marketing yourself, thinking yourself, oh, I'm marketing for my business. I'm going to a networking meeting to market. Just by doing the work on, let's say, setting boundaries in your world as an example, so that you can actually have the space or the energy to actually to do your business. That in turn, that's actually marketing, because guess what? Those people are going to sense something different about you and they're going to be attracted to that. And that leads to conversations. See what this does for you. And if you feel so compelled, reach out to me. Go to my website, sellingcoaching.com. Talk to me about how I can assist you with this one-on-one or in my groups. Just go to the work with me page and fill out the form at the bottom. If you feel compelled, do that. Reach out. You're ready to better up. You're better to level up. You're ready to do this. Whatever that looks like, I know I can help. And you could be one of those people who are coming, doing the real work. Anyways, thank you for listening, and I'll be around.